boxing junkies out there. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your time and support. I am the host, Mr. A, and this is the show, the Double RT Boxing Show. Ready, talk boxing. And today on the show, we are doing Mr. A's thought segment. It's basically where I just talk about whatever I want, whatever topic I want. That's besides a breakdown, a prediction, a post fight recap. It's actually just whatever I want to talk about. And today's Mr. A's Thought show is going to be on my introduction to the lightweight fighter, Romero Duno, like the title suggests. It was brought to my attention by a new viewer, which I believe was a new subscriber, turned into a new subscriber. So, thumbs up to you and thank you. Jesus Tusim. He asked me, you know, hey, it's a pretty hot prospect out there. Check him out. I looked at him. I watched his I watched four fights. I watched his last three, and I watched his loss to Alexiv. There's some pros and cons to these four fights. Now, starting off the back, there's he's made improvements since his loss, because his loss was bad. He got embarrassed in his loss. In Russia, he was swinging wild. He was missing. He was throwing himself off balance. So from that fight to his most three recent ones, the Sanchez, his coming out party was the upset of what was his name, Chima Gonzalez. Just in that fight alone, you could see differences. Now, in the upset fight, that Chima, you can see he has power. He has, at the age, like I said, he's ranked number 59 in the world. He's 15-1 with 13 KOs, 81%. So you in the upset, his coming out party, the big upset of Chima, you saw that 81%. So in his 16 fight career, he has 61 rounds. As that 22 years old, orthodox fighter at 5'7". So he fits that range. He's not too big for the class. He fits that. Now, like I said, everything from his Russia loss against the upset Chimba, you saw he was much smoother in his three punch combinations. He didn't quite throw himself off balance as much. He showed more patience. He showed a little more ring knowledge. He wasn't just all over the place in the ring. Now his homecoming fight against Jason, I think I get it. It was his homecoming fight, but I think that fight, if anything, he can't take any more fights like that. That's gonna hurt him. He's too good to fight opponents like that. And he's not gonna learn, you know. The whole time watching that fight, I was thinking like, I wonder if the Jollibee right down the street tastes anything like that Jollibee. Yeah, 'cause there is a Jollibee about 20 minutes away from my house. Um, like I said, in that Jason fight, Jason had no threat to him, so he couldn't exploit Romero's flaws, which I would get into his pros and his cons later. Now in Sanchez, I think that's his last fight, Pablo Sanchez. He went a full 8 rounds, which was great for him. That's where he's at in his career stage. He's at the 8 round stage because I don't know if he's quite ready for 10 rounders. Because me, myself, just my opinion on him right now, I think a boxer mover will give him serious problems. Serious problems. Because like I said, his pros are his powers is the real thing. He's improving. You can see he's improving. His punches are getting crisper. They're getting shorted. His feet placement is getting better on his punches. So that's why he's not throwing himself off balance as much since his Russian loss. He's developing a more of a balanced attack up and down in the body. He's learning how to double up on the left hook. Before he was just a wild swing and power, like one shot at a time. Now he's actually throwing threes, maybe fours, and he's mixing in the 1-2 hard left to the body. I don't know. It's something about over there in Asia, man. They tear the left side of the body up. They hook those left hooks to the body. And now I was saying those are his pros. Now his cons are since that Russia fight, there are some things he have yet to um, correct, and that is his head movement. When he throws, that's why I like to me. That's why, because I watched that fight and I had it a clean sweep. I didn't even give Romero one round. He at some moments he was competitive. He threw a lot of hard shots, but they were all caught on the arms and the gloves. Now, like I said, Chimpa tried to he didn't have a jab, so it allowed Romero to do his thing. Like I said, anyone like Alexev could still give Romero problems to this day. And the reason why I believe the Russian dude clean sweeped him was his ability to box behind a jab. And Romero's biggest flaw is he doesn't move his head off the line. So when he does punch, like I said, he still has a tendency to once in a while throw himself off balance. He wings a shot. Like once in a while, he'd be nice and tight, and all of a sudden that bad flaw come out where he just wings one. Like if people say Deontay Wilder wings one, this guy has that same style. He wings like Deontay Wilder. He's taming it, but he wings them. And in the Russia fight, he was winging them one at a time. At least now he could get 3-hit combinations smooth and crisp. Like I said, once in a while that winging one comes out, and that's why at his head, and that's why Alexev he was able to, because in some moments of that fight, even though Romero was a stronger fighter, he was able to throw with the exchange and score big time and kept snapping his head back. Like he would just pop shot and Duno the whole fight. Towards the end of the fight, he was actually improving his strength. He was able to walk through Duno anywhere he wanted to. But for the first half of that fight, he was just scoring pop shots because Duno doesn't move his head. To this day, he doesn't move it. You can throw with him. Like I said, his rhythm is kind of predictable. His combination variation ain't. He ain't got too many combinations he's throwing right now. It's a 1-2, some hooks and then a left hook to the body. So if you could time which one's coming, like once he throws his little 1-2, he doesn't move off the line and he doesn't bring it back fast. So you can exchange with him. And that I think is his, because he's getting better at high guard blocking. Because before he would just throw and just be right there to get hit back. Now he's at least sometimes he backs up with his hands. So he's getting better at retreating with a guard, but he still retreats in a straight line. But his biggest flaw that he needs to me, his biggest flaw he needs to improve if he wants to take that next. Like I said, he's still in 8 rounds. He's only 22 years old, 16 fights, but he needs to move his head off the line. Because as long as that's there, you don't have to match his power. You could pop shot him and move and escape. Because his feet work is improving. He doesn't throw, like I said, he doesn't throw himself off balance, but he still wings him out there. But his head, as long as that head movement stays centered, it's gonna be in trouble. He won't. He's gonna lose that big fight, I believe, if he doesn't improve his head movement. But I believe he's now under Golden Boy since the upsets. I know that's how a lot of promotional things go down. They're like, okay, you were under Sandman Promotions. We give you a big opportunity to be the victim on our card, but if you do win, since it was under us, we have the rights to your next two fights or something. So I don't know if that how it went, and they just eventually just signed him. But so I think he's under Golden Boy now. So we'll see how they match him up. I'm surprised. Like I'm very surprised at the perform. I'm surprised at the performance Sanchez did, because you saw in the later rounds of that fight, Sanchez was able to start the land easy. So the first half of that fight, I think he kind of picked his spots on, like he made his mind up to survive. I'm not going to try and win. I'm not going to get knocked out. I'm just going to survive. I do enough here and there to make me look good. And I wonder if Sanchez would have fought that whole fight like he fought the last 40 seconds of that fight, how that fight would have really looked. Like I said, he's he's a good person to watch. He's definitely somebody to watch out for. It's just if you don't move your head, he's getting behind a jab better. Also, before, like I said, in that Alex Seif loss, he was just winging wild shots. So he's getting behind a jab. I guess he's training in the wild card gym since that Russian loss. So they're teaching him a little better offensively. He falls short on a lot of his punches still. I noticed that in the Russia fight. I noticed that in all his fights, and especially in in the Sanchez fight. Even the commentators were saying it. He falls short. He like I said, he's starting to jab more, but he doesn't. You could tell he's not quite understanding the concept of how to use a jab. He jabs once, it comes in, and it causes his punches to fall short a lot. And against a good boxer, they're just gonna counter his misses because he jabs once, and if a person like just is backing up, his jabs fall short, and so does his follow up. So he needs, like they were saying, he needs to maybe feint the jab or even double up to get himself in, so he doesn't fall short so much. Because when he's falling short, and the fact that he doesn't move his head, he's open. So that is my that is my introduction to Romero Duno. So there's probably knowing that the way I see boxing covered on the internet, whoever watches this, if you're not in the Philippines, you're probably gonna be your introduction to Romero Duno. Go check him out like I did. See if you missed anything I missed, or there's anything you can add. Did I do an okay breakdown of him? Like I said, I think he is a good fighter to watch. I think he's gonna be something. But he needs to stay either in these 8 rounders or don't go past 10 rounders, because I don't think he's quite ready for 10 rounders yet. He's still, like I said, I want to see him. I want to see him get better on that jab and his hand movement. Stay in the 8 rounders for like 2 or 3 more fights. This is Mr.A saying thank you for your time and support. Thank you for the little, I guess the new boxer checkout, Jesus. Thank you. And thank you for subscribing as well. Thank you for supporting the show. I appreciate that. And to all the other new viewers who watch this, hope you become new subscribers and support the show. Thank you. This is Mr.A saying good night for Double RT Boxing. Ready. Talk that boxing.